holding the violin, for those of us with necks, means that we want the violin to be somewhere that's kind of comfortable. So some people use a shoulder rest. If we're starting out, if we're little, we can use a sponge. I like these sponges that are very thick and very firm, so they have some give. So if you want to use a sponge, the way that I put it on, I take 2 elastics and I loop them together like this. Now what I do is I take one loop and I put it over the chin rest. So you want to make sure that your chin rest is tight, because if your chin rest is not tight, it will pull it off. So you hook it over the chin rest, and then you can pull it over the corner of your violin. Now, where the sponge goes, you actually kind of want it on this side. So often, if it doesn't fit nicely that way, like it might on a little violin, you can pull it across this way. So you take your sponge after you've put the elastic in. Note that I'm holding the violin by the neck. And then I can lay the sponge on top, just pick up the elastic and slide it underneath. Now this doesn't quite work for me. This is the wrong angle. Usually I want it flat, so I'm going to move it so that it's horizontal like this. And now I've got something that fills the space. Some people, this is very awkward to do, and it'll take some practice. Some people do tuck the violin, I don't know how they do it exactly, but they do tuck the violin under their arm somehow. I don't do it this way. The important thing is not to push the violin into your knee when you're doing it. Really, really important. So the same goes for putting on a shoulder rest. Take the big end of the shoulder rest, make sure that the legs, which are going to hook onto the lip or the rib of the violin, make sure they're straight. And again, holding the violin by the neck, in your left hand, you turn the violin and you hook on top, and then you swing the shoulder rest back. I'm going to hold my violin wrong so you can see. You swing it back, and so now it's just resting on there very gently. And then you slide here and slide here. And you just want to make sure that the angle is good. That feels a little bit wrong for me. I want it this way a little bit more. And I'm going to slide this up. And then it will stay on for 5 seconds before it falls off and drives you crazy. If your shoulder rest is falling off all the time, you can put an elastic around here and hook it over this corner. So the same corner as your chin rest, and that will help keep it on. So again, you want the big end on the same side as your chin rest. This is a Bond Musica, so it doesn't have a big end. What I mean by big end this is a little bit more standard. So this is a Kuhn style chin rest, shoulder rest. So this end is bigger than this end. So the big end, and I've taken the legs off, but the big end goes on the same side as the chin rest. I say that, but it's important that you're comfortable. I did know somebody who was a very good player who played with a backwards shoulder rest, and it worked fine for her. But most of us, and until you know what you're doing, most of us will want to have it the standard way. So whatever you use, even if you don't have a long neck, say you're built like this, you still might want even a very thin sponge just to give you some friction here, because you don't want the violin slipping all around. Okay, what we want to avoid is this, and we also want to avoid this. The shoulder is going to move a bit. Think of it as coming around rather than up. So the temptation is to do this when we're playing. Parents or a friend can look at the shoulders and see if you're doing this. We don't want this. Around is perfectly fine and necessary, right? So the shoulder will come around, but we want to avoid this. This is bad. Okay, good luck.